All right, what is up, guys? I'm your host. This is a new episode of What's Pumpin'. I'm your host, JT, and this is our first episode with a guest, so it's a very special episode today. I'm gonna introduce him right here. Or actually, I'll let him introduce himself. So,
Cool.
it's my boy.
What's up, guys? My name's Kyle Sanders. I'm the founder and CEO of Eatery. We're a mobile app for going out to eat by your health, budget, and your nutrition. I know Jai by going to UC Irvine myself and super into food, health, fitness. So kind of cover everything this podcast loves to talk about. So
Yeah.
happy to be here. I'm excited to be your first guest star, but we'll see what we get into today.
No, yeah. Today I'm actually pretty much excited because I know me and this guy share a lot of fucking values. And aside from that, like I feel like we lived similar lifestyles too. So we're both young adults in this world trying to make it big. And before we make it big though, I just want to give people as well as myself, give you a little bit, like, can you give me a little intro about like where you're from, what's your upbringing,
Cool.
like what was your life like before coming to UC Irvine?
Dope, cool. So, my name's Kyle Sanders. My middle name is Kyle Iskandar Sanders. I'm half Indonesian and then half white myself. For the first 10, 11 years of my life, I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, so got some Southern heritage. I got that Southern charm, I guess. Love to say yes, sir, yes, ma'am. It's a good way to start a conversation when you get to networking, I have to say. But when I was about 11 years old, moved out to California, Southern California. Grew up in Long Beach is how I describe it. And being half Indonesian, I moved over to California where my mom actually inherited my family restaurant. So for the first, I guess from 11 to 22, when we finally sold the restaurant, I grew up with a family business. It's called Tokorame Indonesian Restaurant in Bellflower, California. We were the #1 Indonesian restaurant in LA for a couple of years. We were on the Food Network, ABC LA. We were on the Cooking Channel. It was a cool experience, right?
Fire.
Like I got to live that cultural foodie experience by being in the kitchen, but also I got to get that business entrepreneurial side. Like my mom she was not a business owner before this. She inherited that restaurant, like I said, and I got to see her struggle, maybe not do the best in every scenario. Like she could maybe, if she had more money, more capital to invest in it, it could have been even better. But I grew up with a restaurant, and from there, this is a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Let's not sparkle it up and make it so glamorous. Like this is not an Irvine, Orange County restaurant. This is a hole in the wall in Bellflower. Something that like the food is amazing. Is the ambiance anything's too special?
Yeah.
Like no, we're in a little strip mall. So it was a very humble experience for being a business owner, I'd say.
Okay.
Something that, fortunately enough, like not to say we weren't that successful when time came, when I was choosing to go to college. Coming to UC Irvine was my most affordable option. And fortunately enough, I got the Pell Grant. So all my 4 years of college were completely covered. It's been a cool experience. I was able to move out over to Irvine, kind of got to live that college experience. Never lived on campus, but like I said, not having that debt, it was a local school so like I was able to still work at the restaurant until we ended up selling it.
Really?
Yeah. And it was a cool experience to come out here. It was just still local. It was pretty much free for myself. And yeah, so I guess when I came to UCI,
What was your major?
dude, that's all over the fucking place. I don't know about you, man, but like for me, even at 18, even now, like finally, I'm 23 now. Like I'm grateful to say, like, I know what I want to be. Like I know who I am now. But when I was 18, I applied to UCI. I was like, fuck it. Like engineers make the most money. Let me make my parents happy,
Being an engineer.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I was trying to be an aerospace engineer and I flopped pretty hard. I got humbled. Like I think that high school experience, I was that kid that was stellar. I was naturally good at most things I did.
Yeah, same.
Cakewalked through like most of my AP classes, and having to come to UCI, I was like, I can do the same thing here. First semester or two, I got pretty humbled.
Why? How come?
Dude, physics got me, man. I don't know if you've ever taken a physics class. But
Oh, heck no. I literally in high school, I think I was in AP physics for like a day, and I'm like,
not for you.
not for me. Not this
Not
AP.
syllabus
I'll go
day,
take
right?
I'll go take AP history or something. Like it's just not for me. So
Yeah.
I relate. Any STEM, like related is just, you guys have my respects. Like I'm here for biz admin.
Dude, so I had I have a STEM mom is how I describe it.
Okay.
So having been half Indonesian, like the only other majors I could switch into from her side was if I had to stay in STEM. So like I said, I got humbled as an engineer, and throughout my whole life, like what I loved, at least what I loved about engineering was my math classes. So
Really?
yeah, I actually switched and like who would think, right? Like, oh, engineering, like switch into math. So I switched into math after engineering
Okay.
for only for the reason to just stay in STEM. Like I wanted to be into data science, potentially computer science. I wasn't able to switch into it. So I was like, all right, the next best thing is mathematics. That was definitely a trip, man. Definitely, I didn't finish math. I got my math minor. I switched pretty late into the college experience. Like in my 4th year, I was like, dude, I'm not gonna graduate. Not in math.
Really?
No, dude. I was like, I got to this all the quantitative math, anything like you actually had to like use a formula and figure it out, I finished. But then
Don't you get into
they
like
create,
theory?
exactly. They want you to be a freaking mathematician. And like, you know, at the end of the day, respect to everyone that can do it and pull that off. But that's not who I was. So from there, yeah, like I got pretty humbled. I was like, all right, I'm not going to graduate. I started failing. It was the first time in my life that I failed a class, or I got a D. I never failed a class, but I got a D.
Yeah, it's just not what you're used
I
to.
just
It
knew-
just hits you in the face.
Dude, I just knew. I was like, this is not going to happen. So I ended up like moving quickly to pivoting to BizEcon, finished it up. But through that process, right, like when I was a math major, I took some like data science classes. I was trying to do data science. I was able to see big data and see like how algorithms work, how data structures are made, how data is stored. And I mean, we'll get to it later down the line, but it's truly having been a math major, like that was a part of the stepping stone that inspired Eatery. Like I would never have came up with Eatery if I wasn't a math major.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a pretty awesome experience. So yeah, we'll come back to that later, but now I'm 23 years old, graduated in December.
What degrees do you have? Or degrees?
BizEcon and math minor.
Math minor?
Yeah, so knocked BizEcon out in pretty much just 1 year.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to get out. I was like, dude, I'm done. I'm over college. Graduated as fast as I could. Had a couple of internships in there, but I've been unemployed for the last 6 months.
I know. Damn.
Dude, it's been interesting. I was fully employed. I always had an internship in the summers and stuff. So like not having an opportunity immediately out of college, I think due to the economy, due to everything, was a little earth shaking for me,
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you feel like you're gonna use your degrees?
Fuck no.
Really?
Dude,
No.
I realize I think your degree teaches you how to think.
I
But
think-
definitely does not teach you
I
how
think
to
it's-
apply.
Yeah, I think it teaches you how to like stick to a certain like structure. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like I said this in the other episode where it was about hot takes and how universities not necessarily scam, but it's a business. You know, it's literally a business, and it's just like unless you're gonna be a neuro like surgeon,
Yeah.
unless you're gonna be like a civil engineer, something like an aerospace engineer, like
Yeah.
where you're actually passionate about that. Like fortunately for me, I was 18. I was actually might have been like 17, 18. I think I was 17 at the time when I came out with Pumpn University, just the idea itself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is the brand, this is the vision. Then when I was 18, I was able to like put it into action.
So
right?
you knew what you wanted when you came.
I knew what I wanted when I came.
Yeah.
All due to my ACL tear, like going back to the earlier episodes from the origin story. If it wasn't for that experience, I would have been completely lost. I think I also mentioned this too previously, where I came into college like, all right, I'm gonna be that typical frat business
your college life,
major,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like whatever. And my thought process was, yo, if I'm business, then I can make a business out of whatever I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And I knew what I was passionate about. And I'm glad that you had to go through all those like trials and tribulations, math, switching your major, like finding a
times,
minor,
dude, 3
multiple
pivots.
times. And through like going that period of just like, damn, like I'm feeling kind of lost right now. I don't really know what to do. And you were able to like, through that trial and tribulation, you're able to find out the inspo for
Yeah.
Eatery. So that's something we'll tie into later.
Yeah. But in like getting to like figuring out who I am, like, dude, I would even say, even when I turned 23 in November, like I said, I graduated in December, and these last 6 months has been an open window of opportunity. I'm starting my first job, like full-time career in July, but these last 6 months has actually been the time I figured out who I am and like what I want, like how I can stay dialed in, what careers I want to pursue. Like I did a whole bunch of interviews, what I like, what I don't like. I don't even think college provided that for me. I think at the end of the day, at least it taught me what I don't like. It didn't teach me what I like, but it taught me what I don't
And
like.
that can be just as priceless as finding what you are passionate about.
100%.
I think this is somebody I actually wanted to bring up to you too, which is kind of like what we can kind of like tie into later. But there's this influencer. I don't know if you've heard about him, Daddy Wellness.
I think I've seen him
Daddy
sometimes.
Wellness. He's like
with
the
yeah, he's
Yeah, so
I love that guy. He's
yeah, I
funny as
love this
hell.
guy, and like I was gonna tap into because he's one of the people where I was telling you like when I failed my 75 hard and how I'm gonna get back into it this summer, and then coming back into the fall, like his whole motto is like to be the healthiest degenerate possible. Like that's his mission.
Yeah.
So he'll like tell you what types of beverages when you go out on like what to drink, how to drink your electrolytes, what to
He had
eat.
like a skinny margarita, I think is like his go-to. I've seen a couple of his videos. It's I know exactly
and
what
he,
you're talking
and he
about.
hits the gym, and like we both know that like the gym and going out kind of like if you're trying to be that best version of yourself, unless you're part of that 1% of people with crazy genetics, like I'm sorry, but like it's not gonna check out. That's just not how health math and like degenerate math work out. But I mean, somebody like Daddy Wellness, who he said he graduated because obviously he's killing it on social media.
Yeah.
But another thing too was that he said when he graduated, he was like, I'm not gonna use my degree.
Yeah.
But does he regret it? No, he finished it. Now he has something that proved his like hard work and those trials and tribulations, whatever his experience was and that he went through, it taught him what he didn't like.
Have you?
And that's
I know
just
you.
as
You know what you
valuable.
want, right?
I know what
you
I
want to build
want.
a business. You're going through biz admin. Have you ever thought about dropping out?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm trying to decommit ASAP. Now I'm playing, but I mean, obviously when push comes to shove,
You're only
like,
a second year too.
I'm
boy.
only second. I'm about to be a
Yeah.
third year. I'm about to be a junior. So I'm technically like finals are next week. I'm about to be an upperclassman. Like it's hitting me right now because I literally felt like I was moving into the dorms as a freshman yesterday. I literally felt like I was getting my first shipment of merch yesterday, like my senior year.
Yeah.
I was making my first cutoffs. I was wearing it to the gym the first time. The workers were coming up to me and asking me, like people around the gym were like asking me like, oh, where'd you get that? And I'm just like, it's my own brand. Like, oh,
what's up.
it's the school I go to. Like just cracking jokes about it. But it's crazy how time flies, and like that's why I want to hear a little bit more about your UCI experience. Okay, you already said how like the academic side of thing and what it taught you. What was your UCI experience outside of academics? What would you spend most of your time doing?
you know-
And I feel like I know the answer, but
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to share a little bit of experience, like whether that be Greek life, the gym, finding like
Dude, it took me a while. So, like I said, I grew up Long Beach, California, and that was interesting because I became a commuter. I never lived here. I never dormed.
oh really? Okay,
And I really regret not dorming.
it's so fun.
It's
so fun.
I would crash at my homies and my homies' room in Mesa Towers, for example, or like I'd like get there super early. So if we were having a danger that day, I was in Greek life as well. I was in Pike here at UC Irvine, and like when I rushed and everything, that was my way to have like access to meeting new people. Because as a commuter, I don't know about you, you didn't commute, no?
I did not commute.
Dude, UCI is a big commuter school.
It is.
Fucking sucks.
It sucks because
And
all
you
the
pay for
weekends,
parking,
yeah, all
you're
the
commuting.
weekends, like everyone's gone too. So like that's why people like on the weekends, the social life can be deemed dead. Like you go to the communities, everyone goes back home.
Yeah. So like I joined Greek life primarily because I was like, dude, I need to find some friends.
Yeah.
Like I joined as soon as I got to UCI, I didn't rush that fall freshman year. I did like engineering for sustainable world because I was an engineer.
Yeah.
That was interesting. Like it was a lot more nerdy than Greek life, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
But having done Greek life, so this was pre-COVID too. So
Oh my.
yeah, Pike was a little different before COVID. But I ended up joining like the executive board. I did recruitment chairman. I wasn't amazing at that. It was during COVID, to be fair, but I much more enjoyed being treasurer. I was later treasurer the following semester or following year wise. And you know, it gave me access to like a great group of friends, a great group of guys. Played intramurals. I played intramural soccer, which was pretty cool. Just like a community of people to have while being a commuter. So in my third year, 2022, I think, finally moved out to Irvine.
Okay.
So I live out on South Coast. Super nice. Love being here. Love being local. And then I really, not to say I retracted, but you know, I got a girlfriend. I wasn't really so much into that Greek life. Like, you know.
Just like how it used to be.
Exactly. And I think everyone grows up, of course, as a
Times
freshman.
change.
Like as a freshman, you want to go get that college experience. And I thoroughly had that. I didn't need to continue doing that for completely 4 years. And, you know, I was growing up myself. Like I said, I was doing math. I didn't even have the time to go out. To be fair, I
Yeah.
was starting to fail classes, and like I needed to like
Lock in.
Exactly, I did. I needed to, and that's also when I realized when I locked in and I couldn't pass. Still, like I needed to switch.
You're like, nah,
It was
I
not.
can't.
It was not going to happen. So, like I said, moved out here, got a girlfriend. Definitely switched like my environment of people up. Right, I was still going out to Pike things, but at the same time, I was becoming my own person outside of just Greek life. I've always been working out my 4 years here. So at that time as well, got a job at the Arc, best job on campus. Go get a job at the gym.
Really?
100%.
I mean, I've applied, but they don't hire me. I don't. It's kind of ironic. I
It's
don't
run
know
by
why.
Pikes, that's why.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm cool with them. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I see him at the gym, but who knows? Maybe in my third year I'll get hired.
yeah,
But, I mean,
you gotta apply in the fall. They'll interview in the spring, so you have to do it almost a
my
year in
goodness.
advance.
Really?
Yeah. You're like on a wait list. And I followed up like email wise probably 10 times before I got the job. Like, hey, like
That's probably why
when am
I
I gonna
get
get interviewed? When am I gonna get interviewed? The whole process with the Arc, yes, it was long drawn out, but when I got the job, thank God I had the job. It was a great one.
I just love being in the gym. Like
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
be in there for like 4 hours. Like people know. It's
Yeah,
just
respect.
Like,
Dude, I felt like I was living there when I was working there though, because I'll do like a 4-hour morning block shift, and then 8 p.m. I'm coming back again for another hour and a half too. It's just like,
Yeah.
damn, I'm here too often. But at the same time, it was great. I've always been into my fitness. I was always working out all 4 years and kind of got into it at the end of high school. But then in these last couple of years, like I said, when I was a math major, I've been very passionate about food. I've been very passionate about my health and fitness. Eatery kind of came to fruition, and not to say I exited Greek life, but I was really so much more focused on something bigger, right?
Yeah.
And I think maybe some people like, oh, Kyle just doesn't want to show up anymore. Kyle doesn't want to like he's not fun anymore, right? I think to myself, dude, I was like, screw it, bro. Like I already had my fun. I started grounding myself. I started talking to people at the Entrepreneur Center where we're at right now.
Shout
Love
out
this
the
place.
Entrepreneur Center.
Shout out the Entrepreneur Center. Shout out Ryan Fallen. Great connections. Found other people who were aspiring entrepreneurs as well on campus. Tried to build my business over the last couple of years and participate in competitions and stuff. But yeah, like I think I bounced around like Greek life, the gym especially was a huge community. Like I met you at the gym.
Yeah.
I probably meet almost all my connections are from the gym. Like I just, if there's a guy pushing weight, if there's a guy who's cool, like we see each other, you dab him up, you have a new homie like that.
Yeah. Do you remember how we met?
I can't remember.
I think how we met. I saw your
Same way,
shorts.
right?
I saw your shorts.
Okay.
I was working out with the boys, and you're over there, like I think maybe getting a spot or just chatting it up. And I saw your shorts, and I saw that you were wearing Squid Hoss, and I was just like, all right, bet. Like
Conversation started
I was
right
like,
there.
conversation starter. You have something in common, and that's what I'm trying to do ultimately with Pumpn University. Is like, oh, he has Pumpn University.
Yeah.
He knows JT. He knows Squid. He knows
Yeah.
Lucas. Whatever. But yeah, we just chopped it up, and then we ended up getting each other like contact information, and then we hit a lift,
Exactly.
and then obviously like he'll tap into what his craft is a little bit later, and
we're here now,
the future
so.
of it. I know. But one thing I wanted to ask, bro, what is up with? Do you see this trend of fraternity people, fraternity students, however you want to put it? What is this trend of fraternity, I guess, brothers following the path of entrepreneurship? Like me, I'm in a fraternity. You're in a fraternity. Lucas, he was the president of his fraternity, and then I'm not sure if Daddy Wellness was, but he definitely is pretty frat.
Hear me out on
in
this.
simple
Like,
terms.
I don't know how K-Sig advertises themselves, but like Pike, right? Pike International really advertises just Greek life in general, not just Pike. And what they advertise is like 60% of Fortune 500 CEOs were in Greek life.
A lot of famous actors too.
Were in Greek life. Exactly. And I think a lot of being able to like do anything like entrepreneurship, first of all, it takes a lot of confidence. It takes being bold. Second, like you need a space to incubate that experience. And I think
Yeah.
at a small scale, what Greek life does successfully is provides, if you go on to be an executive board, for example, I was the treasurer. I got to run all the financials for my fraternity, 55 guys plus, dues 3 times a year, planning a huge Vegas trip, planning a cabin trip. Having that, like, I was 21 years old. I was managing over $50,000. That got me my first job at Siemens. I worked at Siemens. Is my first internship. I was a server before that, and I had nothing else. I was a server at my restaurant, and nothing else. And I put treasurer, and I got my first job.
Wow, fire.
Exactly. And I was like, hell yeah. Like,
Yeah, I know.
It's a testament to like being, but where does this go for like entrepreneurs? I think it's, like I said, it incubates. If you're a part of eBoard, if you weren't, if you were like if you're just a leader within your group, things like that, there's like a natural competition and hierarchy within a fraternity as well
Yeah.
of guys. I think all of us kind of realize that. It breeds competition, but almost I think in a positive way, in a way that like breeds people that want to go start their own business. Like I was reflecting on this today. I was like, there's probably like 4 or 5 different dudes from my Pike chapter, my homies that are starting businesses, and I'm always like, hell yeah, like that's what's up. There's plenty of other successful guys that are alums from the years when I rushed as well. So I think in that respect, like it's just that community of guys that like support each other. First of all, the guys that are buying your merch, the guys that are signed up for my beta list.
Yeah.
Also, like a community that builds leaders, builds people that want to go build things or that want to go achieve things, want to go be the best be the best house on campus, right?
Straight
like,
up.
It's competition at the end
Best
of the day.
athlete. Like,
Exactly.
It's crazy. I think it's just crazy how like Greek life. I mean, maybe at this school gets like kind of slandered. I guess we just have like a bad name for ourselves.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's like people don't see the internal stuff, and it's like they don't see the good. You know how like you're built into a better man with surrounded by good people. You get what I'm saying? People who push you. People who
Did
are
you have
there
a good
for
big?
you. Did I have a good big?
Yeah.
My big. Yeah, I love my big.
Yeah. I think that's
he taught me a
huge.
lot of things, bro. Like I don't see him now often, but I do wish him the best, and I know he's gonna do big things in his life. Like I think he just got his real estate license, and he's been killing it. I think
Exactly.
he's sold a couple properties. So I mean, shout out him, and then obviously the combos I had with him the time he was here. I was very fortunate. Had shared a lot of deep moments, and even just people who aren't in your big, aren't in like your Greek fam or whatnot. Just having those Greek life connections of people that like, like want to see you win, and are gonna hold you accountable. Don't get me wrong. Like there's a side of this where people are like, oh, they kind of might drag you to like go have fun. Like, bro, come do this. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you're lame, this and that. Like, it all just depends on you and the type of person you are. Like you're saying, like, you tapped out after your 3rd year. With all due respect, yeah, tap out. Like know what you got to do with your life, and you just got to stand on business.
Exactly.
Like for me, I'm about to be a junior. I know this whole CEO of Pumpn University thing. Like this is my brand. You know. Like sure, I'm in Kappa Sigma, but that's just an extracurricular. Like, dude, it's not that deep. At the end of
That's
the day,
not your title. That doesn't define who you're gonna be. Like in
doesn't.
2-3 years, not to say you're gonna move on and not know most of these heads, but in reality, that's what life is. Like you're gonna be meeting new circles of people. You're gonna be finding, but it's a place that supports you in this time right now. Like that allows you to be the best person you can be. Like if you like, I brought up having a big is a big deal because like it creates a system to where you get like a big brother, a mentor to like.
I'm a big brother, bro.
Exactly.
I picked up in the fall.
And how does that feel? You can like kind of lay your wisdom on this guy. You can help him out, like figure out X, Y, and Z if he doesn't have it yet. Like,
Yeah,
I just think
he's got a lot of figuring out to do.
I just think like with Greek life, you're able to have that. Whereas like, for example, like I said, I joined engineering for a sustainable world. These guys were like superstar engineers, but didn't know how to be leaders. You know, there's no incubation of making you successful. Whereas there's almost like a system, like upperclassmen kind of run things early in your first years when you're rushing, and then like it's not like that elsewhere. So I think at the end of the day, Greek life is just like a good balance that can breed those type of people.
Yeah, for me, why I chose Greek life over like a business frat or something, like because I'm getting into business. Believe it or not, like I'm one of the very few people in biz admin in my fraternity. Because most of these guys that are biz admin are going to graduate and they're like going to kill it. Like they're going to go on either they're biz admin, biz econ, and they're going to go on to like Wells Fargo or like
Shout out Jaden.
JP Morgan. Like all these guys are like headed off for like their path of being successful or not. And like those 30 years now are going to be 4th years. And it's like, I'm trying to cherish the time I have with them. But the one thing I noticed is that like, I'm one of the last biz admin like guys standing. However, I'm the only entrepreneur, you know? So why I chose Greek life over just like joining a business frat in terms of like, oh, like it could have benefited my networking is because, bro, would you agree that for me, I didn't want to be solely just surrounded by biz admin, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I have people who are like biz admin, just trying to go into different routes of like finance, accounting, marketing, this and that. Like for me, living with all these engineering majors, living with the pre-med guys, like all these guys, I learned so much from each and every one of them.
Yeah.
That diversity itself is priceless. It's priceless. Like these guys view some like certain things a certain way. Like, oh no, like I can't go out to this for this reason. Like, oh no, like their workload is like heavier, sure, maybe heavier than mine, but it's a different type of lifestyle and different type of workload.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it just all the more better when we are together, like either that be celebrating finals or like midterms done or like we have a sick day on Saturday or some sort of exchange. the diversity in terms of I can take something from his life and his experience and then like apply it in this area in my life. Rather, I felt like I wouldn't have got that going to a business frat. I feel like it would have been too professional. Correct me.
So
like I don't know. I don't really know how they ran, but I feel like
I
also,
mean,
I'm
this is
trying to
a
be
good-
more social, bro.
I'm a good person to ask. So actually, my girlfriend, her name is Marley. She goes to
Yeah.
Cal State Fullerton, and she's the president of Pi Sigma Epsilon, which is a business fraternity over there.
Oh, lit.
So like, I definitely know how it's run. It's actually pretty interesting. Quite similar to Greek life in the sense you still get a big, but I think there's more roles that are established. For example, like there's directors, vice presidents. Like, yes, we have an e-board in Greek life and in fraternity life, but they also have that. My point being, I think with what you said makes a lot of sense. Like you wanted to be surrounded by other people, not just other business people. Like you wanted to be surrounded by engineer or just diversity. But I think in hers, what is successful is that everyone is trying to head in the same direction.
Yeah.
And like, she's the president of her business fraternity. This girl is like, she's a top dog. Like right now she's doing her internship full-time remote software sales. And she's the president of fraternity. She's killing it. But my point being is like, she's a leader of that pack almost and kind of guiding those people.
Okay.
Not all of them know what they want to do. Not all of them know X, Y, and Z, but they're figuring out they can find that inspiration elsewhere. But I think a testament to Greek life is you get a lot of those functions in Greek life with the added plus of all the social benefits, intramural sports, things like that. Yeah. I think like for myself included, like I wanted to be in a business fraternity to a degree because I think like there's the potential to go network at JP Morgan. Like there's the potential to have more professional dynamics going on. But I got what I needed, I think, out of my experience with Greek life, and to each their own if they want to do both or do one. And
yeah.
So.
For me, I feel like those two definitely like intramural sports, which obviously like my boys we just participated in this philo for Alpha Phi, which is one of the sororities here on campus, and for reasons we participated under Pumpn University. So it was pretty lit. Like my boys got to rep merch during the tournament. They killed it. And then also like, I mean, next year, like whether that be like mesh shorts, shirts, compressions, cutoffs, like during intramural sports, like my boys can rep my gear. You get me?
It's a good marketing space for your brand.
It's a good marketing space. And then also the social aspects. Like say we'll have a party or a day or whatever, and just throw up a Pumpn University flag. Like one of my boys wear the cutoffs, and it's like,
and it's a great space. That's one of the best things like about Greek life. I think like you talked about all like Squid, Lucas, right? Or Daddy Wellness. These guys can build a brand where they're supported by that community very, very successfully. Like you said, you can wear it during intramural games. Like people just want to like kind of support you because it is like people always say like Greek life is such a tight circle. Like everyone knows everyone, but at the same time, like they allow you to be successful by like pushing you, supporting you, whatever. Like you can build off of those, and not just from your campus. Say you're a Kappa Sig at UCI, you could be a Kappa. All other Kappa Sigs will recognize that. Say hell yeah, like they'll support.
I had a couple
you
boys
well.
at K Sig at SDSU, so I was fortunate enough to go over there and like tour their whole fraternity housing before it got tore down. But it was a pretty lit experience. I mean, yeah, like at the end of the day, Greek life, it does teach you a lot. And like I just noticed this trend of like Greek life, I guess, influencers that you can call them. And like that's crazy because I feel like, or actually I know like in the future we'll be amongst, you know? Yeah, sorry. So there was probably a brief cut there. Somebody came in, but anyways, we're back to it. I'm not sure where we left off, but I think I was saying how like
Greek life influencers.
Yeah, how there's this new wave of like Greek life influencers, and I know we'll be amongst them. Like, just give it a couple of years. Bro.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm trying to get there. My goal. I'm trying to get there by the time I graduate.
So do you want to be an influencer? Is that your question?
Yo, so I battled with this thought my whole life. I asked myself that too. I battled with this thought at the beginning of my business journey. You know, I was very insecure. You know, I had this perfectionist mentality where it's like, whatever I want to put out, I want it to be the best. And especially being like an influencer, I knew I was not going to be the next David Lade. I knew I was not going to be the next XYZ influencer that has like a sick physique. Like my genetics are just not there.
Dude, it's crazy how genetics will like especially as a young guy, like if you feel like you don't have the genetics, then you almost don't believe in yourself to do it.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But
so
continue,
I was very insecure, but I went on to the next thing that I know can help impact this community, which is my brand, you know, build that sense of community, build some sick ass apparel, and then the future with the Disneyland of the fitness industry, Pumpn University opening itself. So yeah, so I came up with my brand, my vision and all that. And I was like, I was still like staggered with this question. Do I want to be an influencer? Can I even influence? Like I asked myself these internal questions. Am I even worthy of influencing? And it's like, yes and no. You get me? It depends on what you want to consume my content for.
Sure.
I want it to be a good split of, bro, entertainment. Because for those who know me, it's like, dude, I said this before. I want to be an actor and I've been a character my whole life. So I feel like I want a good 30% to be, I guess, entertainment, you know? Whether that be skits, whether that be vlogs. Because I feel like my life is pretty interesting, at least from what my people say or like my private stories or whatnot. I feel like it's also kind of relatable, you know? I feel like a lot of, like more people than we think can either relate to it or they'd enjoy consuming the content.
I think a part of being an influencer is just starting, bro.
It's-
Like you just have to start.
That's why I'm here, you know? Like that's why I started picking up TikTok a little bit more. That's why I started creating reels. That's why I wanted to make a podcast, because it shows people's side of you that they don't see. You get me? So when I asked myself this, I would have much rather originally, when I first started, preferred staying the guy behind the business, you know? Just the CEO and in the shadows, just like, you know, no face, no nothing. But then I realized, damn, I can market myself, right? I can market my lifestyle. I can market content. Content can be monetized, right? And I was like, I don't really care about the money. But it went so much more than that when like I have a lot of experiences in life that I feel like were very fucking deep and very impactful, and they made me into the man I am today. And I feel like people can take stuff from my stories, you know? People can learn from my mistakes, you know?
As long as you lived, you can tell a story, you can convince, like, I think people get caught up, like something, I've been also starting my journey. I think I just hit posting 50 reels. That was a huge accomplishment.
Congrats, bro. That's a lot. I mean,
50 reels, I was like, dude, I never thought I would even get there. And a couple have done well, right? Nothing too crazy viral, nothing like that. But at the same time, I've learned a lot about myself. My point being is like, you've lived life. Give yourself some fucking credit.
Okay.
You can tell a story, right? Anyone can be, not to say anyone can be an influencer. It takes a lot of work, I think, to like make the videos, make the content. Be confident enough to fucking post. Like,
yeah.
You just damn well know if you don't have haters, then you're not doing it right. Like,
dude, it's crazy because I'm not even in my prime yet they still hating.
Exactly. And I've seen you talk about having your haters, but my point is just like, if you've lived life, if you know how to tell a story, you can go tell that story to people. You can build a brand. You can build a personal brand. And like you talked about it, like you're not really focused on like the money. And like I feel like I'm in the same way. Like I want to build my personal brand to leverage my business. Like, but
yeah,
if I only focused on being a business, like, I don't know if you know about this, but it's like I think over 50% of CEOs get replaced for the companies that they start. And it's like, that's a huge reality. And it's like, why? It's because you're easily replaceable as a business. But if you build your personal brand, if you're the face of a company, if you've established something with your core audience, your people you're marketing to, people are going to be convinced to go to your product because of you. Yeah. Not because whatever business. Like they're going to be focused to like, I don't know, stick around because your brand, the impact you've left on them. So as long as you can tell a story, you can be an influencer is how I see it. Yeah.
No, yeah. I was stuck with that. I thought I wanted to be behind the shadows and just king of operations or whatnot, you know, Heisenberg. However, now it's like, I have stories to tell, bro. I have experiences to share. And I know somebody out there, some insecure little 16-year-old or some chubby 16-year-old who's embark on this journey.
Who do you want to inspire? Because that's what I asked myself. Like, I think I seen a video where it was like, you should make videos that younger you would have wanted to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that your audience?
That's what I want to inspire is younger me. That version of myself that was so insecure from growing up skinny and being made fun of. That person who was afraid to play contact sports. That person who didn't believe in his abilities to like pitch during baseball season or championship games when he had his coaches like, yo, like you need to put on today. Like just people who have never really grown up confidence, and that pretty much ties into adolescence, you know, from people from that spring from, I think that like from puberty to honestly like, bro, 25, like what your brain doesn't stop developing until 25 or something. And it's even then, like people don't even have it figured out. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure it out myself. I'm trying to document this journey and share everything along with it and what I've learned. And oh, guys, I fucked up. don't do this, do that instead. I wish, I want to tell my younger self. And if somebody can take something from that and then they go on to be the next successful CEO and create something for other people to benefit from, then by all means, I impacted one kid's life and that kid impacts somebody else's.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's
network
crazy.
effects.
It's like the domino effect, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way life works. And it's like, I do want to market towards younger kids and also kids that are my age, and even people older can take something from me, because I've been told, ironically, that I'm mature for my age, which is kind of funny. But I mean, I guess to a certain degree I am, and like my experiences have shaped me. So I am trying to influence a younger version of myself, and I know people can take something from that. And I mean, it's kind of like why I gotta hold myself accountable, because the younger me would want to see me progress day in and day out.
And like, I loved what you said about like just documenting, because I think I grew up hated being in photos, like family photos. Like,
Same.
I did not want to smile. I didn't want to be in it. And then I turned like 16, kind of started taking photos, right? Like with my brother, we got a nice camera, nice Sony mirrorless camera, started taking photos. And I realized like why parents always document. But imagine, like, you're 21 now, right?
I'm 20.
Oh, you're 20.
I'm 20.
Imagine being 10 years, like, damn, like you can look back on that documented journey.
Exactly.
And just, if it's not even fulfilling to anyone else to watch, like at least it's fulfilling to you, And that's how I see it. I it's not a problem, but I sit back and I review clips that I filmed a month ago, and I'm just like, damn, I almost take notes, mental notes, like what I can do better, how I've gotten so much better. You can see your progress in genuine time by having that documented experience. Whereas if you never put it out there, it's like closed mouths don't get fed. Like if you want to have documentation, if you want to be someone big in this world, you have to put yourself out there. And if you don't, then don't complain about it. Like you can't complain if you don't have a fucking movie made about you. Like Kanye West filmed his documentary when he didn't make it, because he knew someday he was going to make it. That's exactly what I believe in. Like, that documentary inspired the hell out of me. Like, you have to believe it now, and like that divine like optimism, inspiration, like no one's gonna hurt me. Dude, I don't know how many hate comments you get. I don't know how many people like talk shit about you behind your back or whatever, even your boys.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like it's only gonna matter because you know that you're gonna be successful.
It's funny because I'll get like little side comments here and there when I create contact from people who are like my boys, and I know it comes out of a place of love, love. It's kind of like poking at me, but it's like, and then like other people jump in on it, and it's just like, dude, like y'all care too much for no reason. Like high key, like focus on your own life, and like I'll take it with a grain of salt. Like I'll take it to the shoulder, but it's like, bro, I know right now it's corny till it isn't, and it's like people aren't willing to step out their comfort zone for X, Y, and Z reasons, and it's like I'm willing to do that. I don't care about the results, whether it flops. Oh, it hurts no one. And if it goes and blows up, and I get like 100 like negative comments and one good comment, that one good comment is gonna stand apart. It's like,
and like to what you said about negativity, and like the single biggest thing that I could tell like younger me to anybody, all right, like don't take it personal. Like, don't take a negative comment personal. Like, your boys, like, even if my boys, like, I'll be in a group chat with all my dogs from, like, when I was young, like, all my video game homies, right? And they'll just fucking air it out on me. And I'm just like, they'll be playing the video too, like, so they can hear it. And I'm just like, damn, you can't take it personally. Those are your dogs. And just anybody, random people on the internet.
Those are the best.
Those are the ones who are just like, dude, like, where's this hate coming from, man?
Those are the best.
But, like, and also just to improve, like, I've been putting myself out there, like trying to build my business, right? I go talk to these like super rich investors, and like I had a couple of these calls, but my first call I had, like he's the CEO of First America Bank. They're right here in Santa Ana. So he's an angel investor. I'm talking to him my first call, and he rips me to pieces. And I felt like crying on the call because it was so bad. Like, he was like, you did all this wrong, and so what can I do better? And like, I realized like the way he had like made my confidence, like it almost shattered it, because I took everything he said personally rather than just saying like, okay, like this is a stepping stone to get better. Like, and as soon as you remove like whatever feedback you get from like hurting your ego, hurting your pride, like pride is the devil at the end of the day, like you can become ultra successful. You can become inspirational. You can become an influencer in your own regards without having to worry about all the other noise from the outside trying to tear you down. So.
Yeah, and another thing with that too is like I've never been criticized by somebody doing more than me. You know, I've never. It's always the person who is insecure themselves. Like I'm at the same time, I'm trying to like win over my haters, and I don't have nothing to prove to them. But at some point in time, because I was a hater myself, like for example, Tom Brady, you hate that guy. You know that he's down
Who's your
20 in the
team?
fourth quarter. I'm the Miami Dolphins
Okay,
fan.
no wonder.
Yeah, no,
Tua.
we've been getting ripped by Tom Brady during his
Your
New
whole
England.
life.
Yeah, my whole life. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like I would hate him, and then you see this like the shit he's done. It's like I gotta give this guy fucking.
Did you watch the roast?
I watched the roast.
That was amazing.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty delusional in the fact that I think, bro, the roast of JT, like the roast of Jay, like I think it will happen in the future. Like my friends can, because they already do it regardless.
Yeah.
They rip me to pieces, and it's like, dude, like I laugh at it because it's
You gotta
comedy
laugh
at the
with
end of the
it.
day.
You gotta
Yeah,
laugh
it's
with it.
comedy at the end of the day, and. Going back to what I was saying and like how to deal with that, or like how I do is I've never been criticized by somebody doing more than me. So like the amount of work I put in, it's like, I know you're not doing that. For example, like when I was on my 75 hard, it's like, dude, I know damn well you're not getting your steps, and I know damn well nobody tracks their macros. I know damn well nobody does another 45 minutes of cardio on the Stairmaster and lifts.
Yeah.
And it's like, just that work that I put in, it just reiterates in yourself, you are that person, you are him. As corny as it sounds, it's like it builds confidence, and like that's the one thing the gym does.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you this, like what got you into the gym?
Dude, there's a variety of reasons. Insecurities to start, right? Like, I mean, this one starts, it's been a lifelong thing. So I have an older brother. He's 2 years older than me. Through my whole life, I've been very ultra competitive. I'm a very competitive guy. And he's 6'6".
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm 5'9".
Bro, what happened?
Like, I don't fucking know what happened. Mom, what happened? Where's the milk? Like, I don't know what happened. But you know what? Like, it like laid me to always, I don't know if you fought with your brothers. I fought with my brother, like physical fighting. And like, I always wanted to be strong. I always wanted to be stronger. Like, he'd always be picked first in sports, for example. Like, he got to high school and the coaches are recruiting him to play football, to play basketball, X, Y, and Z. I'm out here, just an average dude, smart headed, like pretty smart guy, you know,
Yeah.
like always have been athletic. I always played club soccer growing up. And I was very well rounded, but the one component I was kind of skinny fat. I was kind of like just a really skinny kid, honestly. And I grew up heavy, but then like when I got to high school, I got really skinny. I was like, dude, I need to put on some muscle. And for the first couple of years, like, I don't know about you, but all throughout being like a younger teen, let's say like 14 to 16, it was just push-ups and sit-ups in the living room, in my room in the summers, like lots of pull-ups on a pull-up bar, trying to figure it out. I think when I was about like 17, 18, when I finally got into the gym. And fortunately enough, I had this one friend who's literally, he looks like a bodybuilder straight out the gate. He's huge naturally. Shout out Robin Yee. Biggest fool I knew. He was like 16, pushing like 2 plates 25, like, or 17. Like, dude is a dog. But at the same time, you know, he inspired me to get in the gym, and like he kind of coached me with almost everything I knew from an early state. And like I was also heavily inspired by a bunch of YouTubers and things. Like I think a lot of people like love TikTok influencers, but I was like an OG YouTuber guy.
Like who? John Skywalker?
Jeff Nippard is definitely
Jeff
Nippard. I love like the science-based.
Science-based guys.
Yeah, so like I use Jeff Nippard's app Macro Factor to track. I don't use MyFitnessPal.
Okay.
But I do track my macros. I'm pretty meticulous. I never really applied. I wasn't like, I don't know about you. When did you do your first bulk? But like I didn't work out like crazy or figured it out until I was like 20, like 19, 20.
Same with me, bro. I call it yo-yoing, and like that's genuinely what it is. Like I first started off with the dirty bulk, got my heart broken essentially.
You need to get your heart
Yeah,
broken.
I got my heart broken essentially.
I did too. 18 years old. That's really kicked it up, like kicked that motivation up.
I got my heart broken. Her next man's was like 2 years older than me, absolute stud, and I was just like, damn, I'm this scrawny motherfucker. Anyways, fast forward that, I was like, all right, I'm working out for 30 days. Worked out for 30 days. I found out what a calorie surplus was. I'm like, that's why I'm not growing. Yeah. That's why I'm not growing. And then essentially went crazy with the eating. Crazy. Like I bulked for a whole year straight for football. And then finally when we had our COVID season, I was like 170. So I went from 115 to 170. Do not recommend
115?
115 to 170.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I do not recommend a dirty bulk. That's how I have stretch marks and stuff. Like people think it's from gear. And I'm like, bro, no. I just like would kill Hot Pockets, mass gainer shakes.
When I got to UCI, I did the same
everything.
thing. I went like 158, 160 to 190. So
Damn.
not as
like
big of a bulk, but
yeah.
a huge, like, and I got my stretch marks too, got those things. And it's just like, We did it all wrong.
We did it all wrong because we didn't have anyone to actually like. I mean, I feel like this is when fitness was kind of like. I feel like it's became more now of a trend, but this is when there wasn't really that many resources available.
Yeah.
And then I started watching Greg Doucette, and I was just like, why am I not like an aesthetic? Why does it only look like if I'm packing on fat or whatnot? Like I put on 55 pounds, but was it all muscle? And then I learned about natty or knots and gear or whatnot, and like how what the industry is and how I'm never gonna look like my famous influencer. And that's why I was like, I need to do something else. Came up with my own gym brand, and then I'm just working on developing my best natty physique. And honestly, like right now, I am taking the holistic approach, bro. Like I do track. I'm trying to eat mainly whole foods, just trying to like treat my body right, you know? And I'm just trying to like just be at a healthy, fit body composition. You know, something I'm proud of when I look in the mirror, because I was so addicted for a minute of that number on the scale. Oh, you're victim weight. You're only 170. You're victim weight. Yeah. And I look at myself 170. I'm like, I'm pretty fat. No, I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, me 170. I'm like, damn, I look kind of fat, you know? And then I cut down like 20 pounds and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. And I feel good. And then I'm like, nah, I'm victim weight, 150. I got to bulk up again. Yeah. And then I'm like, it's this thing, but I'm like, now I'm shifting my goals. I think I've built a solid enough base, because a lot of things you should not cut during your first couple of years of working out. Hop on that surplus, but make sure it's good quality food.
Go for like 2 years on a
Yeah, 2 year bulk.
Yeah.
Good quality food. Embrace the fat, bro.
If you could tell your like younger self, like if I could tell like 16, 17, 8-year-old Kyle, like do something right, like I was so fixated on trying to get a six pack.
Oh, me too.
And I would just go starve myself.
Oh, no.
Like not starve myself, but I wouldn't eat that much, you know? And like, or I'd be doing so much cardio, running, X, Y, and Z. And like, I would just tell myself, dude, go on a 2 year bulk. Like just go get strong.
Yeah.
Like, go push some weight. Like go try to hit 2 plates. When you can hit 2 plates, then I'd say go back and start cutting your weight down.
Dude, for me, if I can go back and tell my younger self what to do and how to approach fitness, dude, F the bulking and cutting cycles, main gain. And this is something Greg Doucette has advocated for, because I already started off in a position where a bulk was needed and was appropriate, but it's like, I took it too far, bro. I took it too far. No knowledge, no nothing. If I would have main gain, just have been hitting like maintenance calories with my protein goal, with the stimulus, and being active, I would have put on lean tissue throughout the years. And I've been lifting for what, like maybe 4 years on and off because of my ACL injury. Aside from that, like I would have been pretty happy, you know? So main gain, it's the healthiest way. You will minimize like the fat you put on. And even if like you're overweight, like just hit your protein goal. Yeah. Eat maintenance calories, I'm telling you, and then just be active, bro. Like people underestimate the power of walking. Like you don't need to go do on runs. You don't need to go like do high interval training or none of that. Walking, bro, it taps into your fat stores because you're not using glycogen. You get me? You're in that zone 2-3 cardio, and you're just slowly getting in that deficit.
Keep a good pace, like, and like you're not gonna get sore from running.
So good for you. Exactly. It doesn't spike your ghrelin, so you're not gonna overeat. Like it's goated. Yeah. It's literally goated. And in terms of weight training, honestly, find a split that works for me. Yeah. And I found push-pull legs a little bit later on, but I don't even know. I was like on a full body split. Like it was kind of stupid. I was running on the treadmill too with like a weight vest. Like it was stupid, bro. I don't know, but it's so funny because I feel like we learn a lot in times of these things of like trial and error. And also like have somebody that holds you accountable, like maybe a gym partner. Those like realize that like this is to the guys and girls out there, like you don't need to go put on your hoodie and like listen to Deftones and like be all lonely and shit. Like I'm telling you, like
don't be mysterious, man. Just go. Like your gym should be your community to find some friends or like have a best friend in there with you.
That's what I'm saying. And somebody to push you. Because at the end of the day, like, dude, we were on this earth. Like, God put us on this earth so that we weren't going to be lonely, whether that be like a partner or your brothers. You need your brothers. You need your sisters. And then obviously if you have that person, congrats. And that's another thing I want to actually transition and ask you, bro. So you went all throughout college. You lived it up or whatnot. I've never been in a relationship myself. But how would you say a relationship affects you in terms of being that best version of yourself, in terms of hitting your goals? Because I can go on a little rant before I let you tap in. But for me, my personal thing is I've never had a girlfriend. I've only been what I guess you can call exclusive. I'm a situationship survivor. Apparently, I have a bad taste in women from what my friends tell me. You know, I choose all the wrong ones. But however, I feel that like you said earlier, when you go out, when you go to these parties, when you, especially in Greek life or like even back home, when you go to these bars and stuff, you're not finding your future wife.
Yeah.
Like you will not find your future wife there. Like you guys gotta all realize that you're in there for temporary instant gratification. And I feel like that takes a lot of time from your craft, a lot of energy from your craft, whether that be the gym, because you're consuming excess empty calories from beverages. You kind of having like, I'm not gonna say meaningless conversations, because you could have meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
I've had some pretty deep talks, but at the end of the time, you're spending money. Like it's catabolic in the sense of you being that best version of yourself. And I
Yeah.
feel like if I had a girlfriend who's checks all the boxes, like green flag, I'm like, damn, she's my wife. I feel like having that and just that partner would kind of help me lock in. Like,
Yeah.
would you agree or would you disagree? Because
You know,
I feel like it would just help me just better myself in all aspects of life, to be honest.
I think, to be fair, like I've done a lot of growing up with my girlfriend. So, my girlfriend's her name is Marley. I've been dating her for over 2 years now. It's been a great ride. She's a like phenomenal woman. I love this girl. Yes, she ticks boxes, but I don't think about it in that respect. Like I think the way I've looked at relationship building is like finding your person. Fortunately enough, right? Like I was able to find my person at a young age that matched my interests. For example, one of the first things we hit off with was music. I wasn't dating by going out and saying, okay, she needs to hit X, Y, and Z, or I'm not going to date her. It was like I was able to make a real connection, like meet someone that, like actually hit it off with. And we kind of had like a situationship going on for a couple months, but like through that process, I was able to really get to know her more. Like she was coming over a lot. We were going on lots of dates, like properly dating. And then having started dating, like I think, yes, you kind of begin to lock in. But
Yeah.
I think to a degree, it's to each their own. Some people, as soon as they get in a relationship, never grow. They never become their best self. They kind of get comfortable. They might get overweight. They might become depressed, whatever, right? They're not putting themselves out there. But to me, like I've explained what type of person I am, very ambitious, very outgoing. I love to work out, X, Y, and Z. She has those same aspirations as well, or we breed that out of each other. Like we get the best out of each other over time. I think it's just an important thing. But, I think it's necessary to have a woman's perspective for me. Like, so
For sure.
I don't know how organized you are, but I'm not that. I'm like ADHD type guy. Like I'm always losing my phone, my wallet, my keys, whatever. Like I'm not the most organized guy, but I've been able to learn how to properly plan my day, how to have a task list, how to get things done. Now, like I wouldn't have learned that unless I had dated her. I mean, I think that perspective is inherently like feminine, to where they have this more organized system building activities. I was able to learn that from her, but I think in any relationship, you kind of get both sides of the coin if you're with the right person. So, I think over time, I've become my best self. We've been dating for a couple of years now. I think maybe at the beginning, I wasn't as dialed in. I was still going out. I was still having fun. Life was life, right? But
Yeah.
now I'm 23 years old. I figured out what I want. I want to build my company. I'm going to have a full-time career coming up pretty soon. And being locked in with her in the sense that like I don't have to put energy into texting people that are meaningless, or I don't have to put energy into going out and potentially wasting an night or being upset about things.
Yeah.
Like, of course, the relationship comes with things in balance, to where like, like sometimes we might be arguing, or sometimes there's external factors. But at the end of the day, like I'm pretty grounded into where my energy is going, and it allows me to focus. Like having that focus to work on my company into the night, or having that focus to wake up and not have to worry about anything. It's been a big deal. It's been something that's allowed me to be successful. I think it's not like that for everyone, but for me, it's worked out that way. I'm definitely grateful for Marley. Loved having, like, being young like this. Like I've gotten a mentor. So his name is Brian. He's 43 years old, completely retired. He sold a startup, like lives in Corona Del Mar, CDM. And one of the first things he asked me is, do you have a girlfriend? I said, yes. And he asked me how serious. I was like, well, very serious. And why? It's because young people, young men especially, need to be focused. Even if that's with a girl, that's even better. If it's without a girl, then they need to not be so focused on chasing pussy. Like they need to not be so focused on.
He
like,
said it. Yeah.
they chasing pussy.
Yeah,
like
straight up.
Being distracted. Like if you're focused on like trying to build your business, like get good grades, do what X, Y, and Z, like you will be so much more successful. And that's literally one of the first questions he asked me.
Yeah.
And like now that I've built up a relationship with my mentor, and he almost always asks how we're doing every single time.
That's goaded.
Yeah. So I think it to a degree it definitely helps. Definitely not essential, but for the reasons like I said, like I think it's a huge benefit to my life, especially in my success so far in my career.
Yeah, I can give you a debrief because I've heard this quote too. Is like a girl can make or break you, so she can make you in the sense of like you said, like if she's good for you in the type of like that best version that you envision yourself. Like for example, I agree with everything that you said. You said that like for example, if you're going out a lot and in search of like that one thing, and it's like that could be time you either stay home, you don't wake up with a hangover, and you start your day early and you're productive. You get me? And how many, like realistically, like we're young, how many times are we going out like weekly, bro? Like 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like an underclassman.
But
like
if you're
2 to
going
3.
out, then you're also losing a little part of the next day too, being
That's what I'm
tired,
saying.
hungover, whatever. Like you're also losing.
Groggy.
Everything is about time. Like you only have so much
And
time
also
every week,
momentum
every day.
too.
Exactly.
Momentum's like the biggest factor. So that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like for me, if I was like locked in with like my wife or like this girl that I was taking very seriously, I feel like I would be progressing to be that close, like that best version of myself rather than the version of me right now, which is still like going out, having fun, like living life while I'm young. And honestly, it's so unfulfilling, but I'm not gonna regret it because I know that it comes with a lot of memories that I can like tell my kids, look back on and be like, oh yeah, like it's the time to say yes. And this is what I want to tell you about. We were talking off screen about the power of no, bro.
Yeah.
The power of no is crazy, and I feel like it's this art that will take you far in life. The power of no, like no, I can't. No, you cannot use my. No, you can.
Are you a people pleaser?
I'm such a people pleaser.
Yeah.
It's
You
ridiculous.
have to break it.
I like. I fold so easy. Like, yo, you want to go out to? I'm like, nah. And it's like, bro, it's like, it's not even that I'm lame. Like, I want to, but I know that best version of myself isn't that person who goes out multiple times a week. And if so, like, they don't go out till they're successful. Like, that's what I truly envision. Like, bro, like, FOMO is another thing. FOMO and the art of no are gonna take you like far in life. If you can control your FOMO, then good for you. You're delaying the gratification for when you actually have a reason to celebrate. And the art of no, just saying no because you know what's best for you, will build that momentum.
I think, and it's a part of like learning. I don't know how good you are at setting boundaries, but like it's definitely a huge part of setting boundaries. Like for me, like I've had some toxic friendships in my life to where like, I probably should have just spoke up about, hey, like you fucked me over right now. Or like, hey, like I didn't like how this happened, right? Like I was an inherent people pleaser growing up my whole life. Like I think if I never learned to say no, and I think that came a part of just growing up, like being in a relationship, especially, like I'm not going to go to the bar. Like I'm not going to go to the party. I'm not going to go to the pregame.
Yeah.
Like I'm just going to pull up. I can do whatever I want. Like I'm on my own accord now.
That's lit.
Yeah. It feels hella good because, then you have that independence because you're not directed by
X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
Like you feel like yourself. You feel, that's another thing too. Like, cause you
If you
know
pull
your
up,
own
you pull up.
identity. Like, you know your own identity. And this is one thing I tapped into the past episode, which was like, you are who you hang around with. So like, say you're that fifth friend, say you got 4 stoners as a friend.
Yeah.
You're that fifth friend, you're most likely to be drawn into that.
Exactly.
Or say like, I don't know, like you got 5 guys who are heavily into the gym and they're all mogging you. Shit, you're gonna be that 5th guy that's trying to get jacked with them. You get me?
Yeah.
So yeah, the art of saying no is very, very much something I need to like learn more or like tap into. But it's just so hard drawing this line right now that we're so young. But I know what it needs to take in order to get to the next level of things. And
I think you got to start with things that are easy. Like you said, momentum's the biggest factor. I made a video about momentum. Like if I had a TED talk, my TED talk would be about building momentum. And if you can do it one time, then you can do it 2 times. And things like hard things become easy when you have this momentum pushing you, right? Saying no to even something that you want to do so badly, go to a party or whatever, even though you have finals or something like that. Like you have to learn to say it because when things come around and you have that momentum going, you pretty much become unstoppable.
you don't want to stop your streak.
Exactly. Like you don't want to stop having that control and being controlled by other people, by their decisions, by
their comments, their opinions, whatever. But no, yeah, that's very interesting because I know you've probably struggled with that. I'm struggling with it right now, especially summer's coming up. And ironically enough, dude, the summer is my lock-in time. The summer is my lock-in time, and that's when that's when I have no problem saying no because it's like, no, it's time to myself. I don't care if I'm alone in a room. I'm brainstorming. I'm watching podcasts. I'm taking notes. I'm looking at old content, which I will be doing. I'm progressing in the gym. I'm hitting my meals, and I actually want to get a coach. So
Really?
if I'm fortunate enough
Would you pay for a
to get a
coach?
coach, I would pay for a coach. Like you said, do you pay for your mentor?
No, so shout out Ryan. This guy came and he's not an alumni from UCI whatsoever, but he just a Newport Beach or Corona Del Mar like native, and he basically is looking to mentor someone.
Okay.
And Ryan basically said I was the first name that came out of his mouth, which is cool.
That's
right?
goated.
Right? Like that's dope. Like I'm just a student that comes here all the time, but he connected me, and fortunately enough, we had a really good, really positive relationship. I think like something about mentorships or coaches, like the right mentor, or I always say this, like you don't choose your mentor chooses you. Like
True.
my mentor has probably given me like 20 plus hours so far for completely free. No, nothing. Like he's not fulfilled by getting paid more money. He doesn't care about that. He gets fulfilled by paying it back. Like he told me basically like he had a couple of different people throughout his life that really coached him and helped him get to the right place, and he's paying that back. And now he wants to reciprocate that. I think if you do find the right coach, if that's a friend or someone you look up to, you can pay them, of course. But if you don't have to, I think that's definitely the best way.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of funny because I know during one of Lucas's podcasts for, I think, Squid Talk, he talked about getting a dating coach or like a dating mentor.
Interesting.
And it's pretty funny too because I don't know why, like the point he made was like, why is it like looked down upon? We have like bodybuilding coaches now, like we have mentors for in terms of like courses and like how to do like drop shipping or whatnot. So the one area in life, which I think, like I said, a woman can make or break you, is choosing your long life partner, the mother to your kids, or, you know, the husband to your kids. Like that's the most important decision you're probably gonna make in your whole life. And I feel like in order to like just hear what they have to say, you know, see what they have to say in terms of like your own experiences, like, oh, like, okay, I don't know how a dating coach would be, but I feel like
I think people are a
it's
little
very interesting.
too quick to it is what I'd say. I think Gen Z, like relationship wise, bounce around a lot. They're not really, there's a lot of situationships. There's perhaps not as many relationships. You haven't even been in like a real relationship until this point.
I've never committed.
I think like something that's fruitful, like you don't get to see like the flowers of your garden unless you wait for them to grow, right? And like in my relationship, we had our ups and downs at the beginning, and like I was committed to her, like, and I've always been committed to like a long lasting relationship. I wouldn't have dated her unless I saw like a life with her. And in that, Gen Z doesn't stick around long enough is what I think. Like if they have one problem, they're gonna retaliate and break up with that person.
And then go to the next.
Exactly, and go to the next. And like when you look at life, like, hey, like we're just gonna hit a checklist and like, hey, it's another number or whatever. Instead of like, this is a person that you're building an emotional connection with, or whatever. Like you're never gonna truly get fulfilled. And I think if we had a little like if Lucas, for example, treated dating perhaps, or if his coach is teaching him that like, you know, you got to spend more time even through the hard times. Like I've had plenty of hard times with Marley. Through those hard times, you can actually get past it. You become even stronger at the end of it. So,
yeah, I mean, I feel like it's something I've been neglecting, and I think he mentioned he was neglecting too, which is like also too like with experience. Like the last podcast I covered, like my boy said I was naive with women or whatever. So like
he called you out.
He called me out. He's like, you got a bad taste. Like you're naive. You don't know how to like. I was like, bro, like I don't know the art. I don't know the art of reading minds. Like I feel like that's what most girls kind of want nowadays is to read their mind. But I mean, for example, communication is key. And I don't know, it kind of ties into that whole thing that like, who knows, maybe if I gave this dating stuff a shot or actually like put myself up there, then maybe I would find the one and then like lock in and then she'll gravitate me to being the best version of myself. But for me, I'm a big believer in building my own garden. You get me? Mm-hmm. Like the butterflies will be attracted when I build my own garden, when I build my own empire.
Yeah.
But then that also comes at the cost of, does she only want me for my money? Does she only want me for my fame? So I'm very happy for you that you found this girl who...
I'm so grateful because like exactly like you said, I think to men like our currency is like status and like money, 100%. Right? Whereas like girls might be like looks or whatever. And if you say you get to that point in the future and those are the only reasons people are coming to you, it's almost a little counterintuitive, right? You're not going to find your person, but you know, like I'm a very lucky guy. Like thank God every single day for where I am in my life right now. I don't think it happens that way for most people. But when it does, stick with it. Just try. Try a little harder to stay around. I think is the right way to put it.
I mean, I'll be around for the next 2 years at least here at UCI. So if I don't drop out, if this thing doesn't take off. But no, another thing too, I think as like I'm forcing myself. I do want to get my degree, not because I want to, not because I want to like make my parents proud. No other reason, just the fact that like, bro, I'm like really not a quitter. Like it'll kind of not necessarily fuck with my ego, but I mean, why not? I'm halfway through. Like I'll probably never use that piece of paper. But I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it's just another thing on my resume. It's like, oh, like sure, like he's made a success off of Pumpn University, CEO of this brand, maybe do commercials here and there, like little acting, and whatever else I'm passionate about. And it's like, oh, he has his biz admin degree from Paul Mirage, which it's just like another little, it's like sprinkles.
Your degree doesn't define you, man. So like my dad always used to tell me, he's like, dude, like your degree, it doesn't mean anything. Like all it means is that you showed whoever that you can get something done. Like 99% of people like don't get things. They don't actually complete anything. Like they start a new passion, they start a new project, they never finish it. They never actually get into it. That's what it's all about, sticking around. Like I think I give a lot of I praise a lot of like these like pre-med people that can stick 12 years through school. Can never be me. But like at the end of the day, they want to see it through. And I think the degree is just like a symbol of like your ability to get things done. Doesn't define you whatsoever. Like over the last 6 months, I've been unemployed, dude. I've learned to code. I've been building my own website. I'm building a website for my mentor now. I've been filming videos. That has nothing to do with my degree.
Yeah.
Like my degree didn't mean anything. I don't even know what my degree means. Economics, like it's pure theory. At this point, like, does it truly apply to much of my day-to-day life? Not really at like whatsoever. It's a good way to think about things. Like it's taught me to problem solve and have critical thinking abilities. But you know, at this point in time, my degree doesn't define me. I'm going into a career it's like an engineering software like career. Like it's not real. It's sales, but it's to do with like a technical product. It's nothing to do with just like whatever. So yeah, I don't think the degree is really. When you finish it, I know you will finish it. You're gonna stick to it. Don't quit on it. Like your company is big, but your degree is bigger. Like it's just a part of the stepping stone. Just look at it like that.
It's a part of the stepping stone. It's just crazy knowing that we got like 17-year-old crypto traders out there selling Pepe meme coins, and we're just getting mogged. Like they have millions. But
you can't compare yourself, is how I see it.
Yeah.
Like I've said this quite a couple of times, but like run your own race. Like if you're so fixated on comparing yourself, like this kid has 7 million, this kid has an insane brand, or like this guy's app, like Zuckerberg was the first billionaire, like at this age, like who cares? Like if you're gonna be successful someday, you're gonna be successful. Like if your path is you're gonna get there. Like I don't know if you believe in what is that? Like
manifestation.
Like manifestation, but like divine, like everything like happens for a reason.
100%. Yeah. I talked about this before.
Yeah.
I believe in manifestation. Everything happens for a reason. Trusting God's timing. Like I just know like reality hasn't caught up yet. We're young guys trying to do something in this world. As long as we don't quit, we'll pop off soon. I'm not worried at all about that. And it's just like, is there anything else you can tap into in terms of your post-grad life? Like, how's that been?
Yeah, dude. So I've talked about a little, like, dabbled on it a little bit. But so over the last year or so, I've been working on I mentioned at the very beginning, my startup. It's called Eatery. Eatery, Eating Out Made Easy. It's a mobile app for going out to eat. You use MyFitnessPal yourself, right? Yeah. You're someone that like tracks your calories meticulously. You care about your goals, your weight loss, your whatever, your day-to-day activity. You track it.
Protein.
Eatery combines like Yelp, which is food discovery for going out to eat, with MyFitnessPal all into one. So instead of being fixated to just like, okay, reviews and ratings, I'm gonna look at all the 5-star restaurants in the local area. Instead, like you said before, like if you simply just track your protein, you can hit your goals. Well, with Eatery, what if you can look by, hey, I want to look for every menu option in the local area that has 50 grams of protein. Actually, I only want to spend under $15. And hey, I only want to have 1,000 calories in that meal. Eatery will find all the different menu options in the local area that fit that exact criteria. So I've been working on this. Like I said before, I was heavily inspired by when I was a math major. It was really cool to see big data at that time. Like, I don't know, do you use Spotify? Do you use Apple Music?
Spotify,
Okay,
bro.
good. So in that math class, this is a data science class. We worked with Spotify's data set, and I was able to see how Spotify lays out like every song is tagged by like the theme, the artist, the different category that it falls in, the length of the song has all these different tags. Food can be laid out the exact same way. So every single restaurant can be organized. We can build a recommendation algorithm. We have a filtering, search, sorting system. And, I think Eatery is really pioneering a healthy, affordable way to go out to eat, making it easier for everyone to just make a better decision. Because like you said, like, you have all these goals. You can't go out to eat doing that, or at least you don't feel that you can do it pretty easily.
Yeah.
Like,
It's something that's when I have to unfortunately say no to my homies.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I can't.
is
head
that
up.
the most often time?
Yes, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like, nah, I can't go out to eat. And I'm like, they're like, bro, what? I'm like, nah, I'll just cook at home. And they're like, dude. But it's kind of funny because like I actually enjoy what I cook. I enjoy my diet. Like people think like it's torture eating lean ground turkey. Like, bro, this shit's good. Like, I love hitting my protein. I love feeling good. It fills me up. It's what I enjoy. It's just crazy because nowadays society, like following a diet, which it isn't really a diet, like considers you dieting. And the word dieting and diet, like it like gets confused and thrown around so often. Like a diet's temporary. My diet though is like what I eat in my lifestyle. Cause you asked what I eat earlier, like if I weigh everything or whatnot. Whenever I go on my grocery hauls, I just get the same thing over and over.
You just make it every week?
Just every week whenever I feel like it. Like if I'm not choosing crap to put in my body, how am I gonna look like shit? How am I gonna feel like shit? So for example, my only carb sources are honey, oatmeal, and sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
My protein
I've
sources
been
are
loving the
chicken,
yams, man.
lean turkey, and steak. And then for fats, sometimes like milk, and avocado. Like,
And I think like you really like characterize the subset and niche of an audience that we really want to lean into first, right?
Yeah.
Like you're this bodybuilder, you're this gym enthusiast, you're Pump University, Like you're someone that genuinely loves and cares about their health and fitness. And what Eatery is trying to do is build a solution for you to go out to eat, because right now, like if you're always saying no, you have no convenient way to do this. Like at the end of the day, why do people go out to eat? Convenience. Well, like social occasions.
yeah.
Right. Like there's plenty of different factors, but what if you could also go out to eat to be healthy? Right. That's where we're really leaning into that. And our target audience is those bodybuilders, those gym enthusiasts. And like you talked about why like Greek life breeds entrepreneurs. I think Greek life is the epitome of my target audience of both men and women, people who kind of care about their appearance. They care about their physical and health conditions. They care about being active and eating healthy. Maybe not partying healthy, but eating healthy, right? They want to look good.
Yeah.
So like, I've been leveraging like Greek life on campus. I've been trying to organize with like Kappa Sig, Pike, Sig Pi to get my beta testing out there. I think it's a good platform to kind of launch, go to market with college students, people that just love their health and fitness. But I think at the end of the day, like if I'm able to solve this problem for your unique subset of people, bodybuilders, people that love being healthy, I want to transform the world. Like 2/3 of Americans are obese.
That is crazy.
2/3.
And I think heart disease is like the leading cause of death. Like even when COVID and everything like came out, it was like a lot of these people who were like really feeling the effects of COVID were overweight, obese. And it's like, how are you shaming me for using a scale saying I have an eating disorder?
Yeah.
Because I actually care about what I put into my body. And you're over here like spamming McDonald's on the weekends.
But I think some people just don't know any better.
That's
and
what
like
I'm
they
saying.
don't also have access into knowing any better. For example, like food deserts is a have you heard of what the term food
No.
deserts? Food desert is the idea that a specific, usually low income community is unable to find healthy food. So they only typically go to Jack in the Box and McDonald's and Burger King over and over and over again, right? Because in a food desert, that's all they're limited to. But with Eatery, I think what we're really trying to solve a larger problem of access to healthy food, being able to make a difference in communities. Like, that person that does go to McDonald's and binge all the time, hey, if they're going to use Eatery, like maybe that's not a specific person that's going to adopt the app, but say they were a person to, they can be guided to make the healthier, correct choice. And, everything's going to come down to their own like control. Are they going to actually follow X, Y, and Z of our recommendations? To each their own, right?
Yeah.
But like, I think everyone's weight loss is different. Everyone has different goals. So like, for example, you might be looking to gain weight. I've been on a cut for the last couple of months. Like we each have our own goals. There's different ways that eatery can be applied to different lifestyles. It's not just for losing weight. It's all entirely centered around goals. So it can be, it's for your health and lifestyle. So like your calories, your nutrition, but also your budget. So like, do you fixate on how much you spend every month? Do you fixate weekly? Like,
honestly, just try to spend most of my money on groceries.
Okay.
And then if I eat out, maybe like once every 2 weeks, maybe if it's like a friend's birthday party or like a friend's, or just like they just want to go grub, you know? Or for example, like I know eatery would be perfect for the drunkies, whatever. What do you call them?
The drunchies.
The drunkies, yeah.
Like what's open at like 12 o'clock at night that
Dude,
I can like get 30 grams of protein in?
Dude, if I come back from the most, I don't know, insane function, like I'm gonna need to like DoorDash some in and out or like have my boy drive me and like pull up and drive through, and I need to find out the eatery method, bro.
And I think like
to stay and hit my macros.
Exactly. And like I think like far too often you just think like eating out can just be like, oh screw it, like fuck it. Like
yeah.
I have the drunchies. Like I don't really care about
I don't gotta hit my
macros.
macros. But it's like I'm gonna eat out, I'm gonna just go insane, you know? Like there's no self-control. But like, why don't you have that self-control? Is because you don't have any guidance. And I feel like your app would, like, if you pull it up and it's like, all right, bet, like, okay, I know I'm gonna indulge in the junk cheese, but at least I'm gonna make a health conscious choice.
Exactly.
So that I can get closer to my goals.
And you gotta give people a reason, right? Like, did you play video games growing up?
I did a little.
Okay, like
I dabbled.
Call of Duty or anything like that?
Fortnite,
okay.
MLB, Madden.
And like, why are those experiences so addicting? Because it's a game, right? Like there's a reason for you to come back. There's a leaderboard, it's competitive. Like, I think right now, eating to a degree is about sharing, like, it's a game in the sense of ratings, right? Like, oh, I ate at the best restaurant. I ate at Nobu. I don't eat at that crap sushi
Erewhon.
place. Exactly.
I got my groceries from Erewhon. I'm like, bro.
It's centered around the rating system or this classes system. I really want to standardize it around like macronutrients, budgets, like calories, because in that sense, I'm trying to build a game in the sense of like, okay, who's hitting their goals week in and week out? Who's hitting their macros? Who's actually saving the money that they want to save? Who's eating their protein goals week in and week out, things like that. So I think bringing it back, like we're an app centered around gamifying the experience of going out to eat, gamifying the experience of being healthy, and trying to change the world to make it a healthier place for people to just make a better decision going out. And it's funny enough that I owned a restaurant because I want to solve this. Like this solves a problem not only just for chains, but just for all restaurants. Like you can't go out to a mom and pop and find the protein or the macros or the calories, and having that ability to do so, that's really what we're trying to innovate and pioneer into that space as well. So, and
didn't you mention you wanted to have like some sort of AI to like kind of, would you call it, like guesstimate the calories or the macros?
So, like,
I feel like that feature would come in clutch because it's like you said, for example, say I want to go to like this local taco shop,
sure,
and it's like I'm too afraid, like nah, I'd rather just not. And then my boys are like pressuring me. It's like 2 a.m. and they're like, bro, come on, like just do it,
yeah.
like. Dude, you're fine. Like, oh, your gains are gonna disappear, and like they give you a bunch of shit for being health conscious. But it's like that feature is so convenient.
I think divine timing is everything, right? Like this business couldn't be pulled off 2 years ago. Like we didn't have AI. AI is at the point now where it's multimodal, meaning like you have image recognition, you have video recognition, you have text, exactly. Voice to a degree as well, right? But my point being is like we have a way to actually make a prediction. Like, we're not going to know the exact protein in that one carne asada taco. Instead, we're going to know like a guesstimate. Say we know 15 to 20. But it gives you that ballpark. At least it gives you that.
I'd rather overestimate when I track my shit.
And I think most people would just like rather know, like, or instead of making a decision just out the blue, like, hey, like, screw it. Like, I'm only going to order meat stuff. Like, I don't know how many times if you do go out to eat, you might just say, fuck it, I'm only going to get nuggets at Chick-fil-A. If my friends are forcing me to go, like, I won't get anything else. Because you know that's the protein. Like the only high protein source. But to be able to make a different choice and compare that to also all the different restaurants that you don't eat at, because like, for example, I was going out to eat at L&L Barbecue. Do you know L&L? Dude, they have this, it's a Hawaiian barbecue, Hawaiian food place, right?
Yeah.
Basically my point is like, they have this teriyaki bowl that has broccoli, grilled chicken, white rice. It's got like 50 grams of protein. It's under $7. And I think it's like 600 or 700 calories. Dude, why? Like, you can go out to eat and be healthy. Like, you didn't even know that choice exists.
Exactly.
So it's the idea, like, not infinite, but there's so many choices out there. You can actually find, like, you can get into new and different things and find new restaurants, new meals. Yeah. So.
Bro, I think your app's gonna make me broke, bro. I'm gonna be wanting to eat out every single day. But no, yeah, that's the beauty of it. I mean, is there anything else you can spew about eatery?
Yeah, no, dude. So let me think. So I've been working on this for the last couple of years. It's definitely been a long process. I had falling out with my founders, but I think in this process, like I've mentioned before, in the last 6 months, like I've learned that I can do anything. I've been learning to code. Like as a biz econ degree, like you're not defined to just do finances, but I've learned to do finances now. Like I've learned to do business projections, case studies, figuring out like so much more on my own. Like my degree didn't teach me any of these things. And I think something that's so fruitful about entrepreneurship is that like as long as like you're heading in the direction of wanting to build your business,
Yeah.
you're going to do everything you can to figure it out. Like fake it till you make it, do everything you can. Like it's put me in circles to where like I'm talking to millionaires and I'm not putting them on like hundreds of millionaires and I'm not putting them on a pedestal. I'm talking
You
to
gotta
man
talk to
man.
them like you're man.
Exactly. Like, and
They're
it's
just human.
all these people are human, and like I can't take the criticism as personal anymore. Like I've done a lot of growing up. I think like at 23 years old now, I've like set this base of like, okay, and my company hasn't even launched yet.
Yeah.
Right. Like I am aiming to release it this July. So hopefully, and before I start my full-time
I'm
career,
hyped.
yeah, no, I think it's going to be exclusive to Orange County. So
Okay.
all of UC Irvine will have, not all of UC Irvine, but I'm going to be doing like a short beta release for like a small subset of students, probably a little bit of testing with Kappa Sig, with Pike individually, and then
Pumpn University.
yes, sir, dropping it to the rest of Orange County, but just doing a little soft launch, seeing how it goes. It's going to work primarily just for chain restaurants. So if you're sitting here right now, every single restaurant in UTC, you have covered most of Orange County. You don't have your mom and pops, but just these chains for now. And yeah, as we go to launch, like I think like I have a lot to learn. Like I'm still just as new into entrepreneurship as I'm sure you are.
Yep.
So like I think this app has the ability to change people's lives. I hope it takes off. I know it will take off.
It will take off, bro.
And as long as I believe in it, I guess this is a platform as well. Like I'm always looking for founders, people who are like wanting to work on something bigger than just themselves and just to, like what they think of. If there's anyone that like wants to reach out or just connect to be a part of this journey, whether that's marketing, development, X, Y, and Z, like
Plug your IG. Where
feel
can
free to
they
hit me
feel
up.
you?
Yeah,
Where can they hit you up?
hit me up on at Kyle I Sanders on Instagram or at eatery.life. So these platforms it's where I've been posting my content. You guys will get just access into my story, my journey, and just seeing how the app has been marketed, developed over time. And as we go for that July launch, like I'm just excited to see what traction we can bring, what people we can connect to, and how we do it. So.
Heck yeah, brother. I'm excited. I'm excited for what the future holds for you, and I can't wait to stick along and see how far you go. I know
I think we'll have to do a collab for sure.
Oh, we're for sure gonna do a collab, and like
I'll have the trucker hats. You'll have the Pumpn University. We could do like a pink. Do it for the sororities. You know what I'm saying? Something cool along these lines. I think like one of the best things about having a brand, like I'm a creative. Like I'm a creative guy. I don't know about you. You're a creative guy. You're not to say you're not technical,
Yeah.
but like it allows me to like just put all my ideas out there. Like who's gonna tell me I can't do it? The market will tell me I can't do it if it doesn't sell. But beyond that, who's gonna tell me I can't do it?
Yeah.
So I think like that's like a cool outlet. So I'm gonna be selling eatery hats that just say "eat" on here, just like Pumpn University. Something cool, something some branding for the brand. So
Yeah, you guys can expect a collab coming soon, and I'm excited for what the future holds for you. But I think that pretty much wraps up this podcast. Unless you have any last words, anything you want to let the viewers know?
no, man. I think I just want to say thank you for the experience. I know I'm kind of like your first
First guest.
You know, like Jay and I, like we met in the gym and everything. I think it's like an awesome space to like meet people and like grow a community. But like having Pumpn University as that community, I can't wait to see like how much you achieve in your life and with your business. And yeah, just appreciate being here today. So
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro.
dope, man.
I'm glad I got him on for the first episode, first of many. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'll be running it back a couple more times in the future. Just, when we hit our milestones and we're just like looking back, reacting at this video. But no, this was one for the books. If you guys stick to the end, I appreciate you. Yeah, and actually, this is the only announcement I kind of have to say to you guys. So this will probably be episode 5, and summer's about to hit. I have finals next week. So unfortunately, you guys probably will not see a new What's Pumpin' episode. till maybe next year. So there's gonna be a time skip, either that or unless I'm able to find a place in San Diego back home where I can record and film. But if that doesn't happen, then I'll make sure to be doing content in other types of forums. And if you guys want to see his content, you guys should definitely go check it out. He dropped his tags. We'll have them in the bios. And yeah, so this might be the last time I see you guys for a minute. So I can't wait for what I have to talk about moving forward once the time skip happens, probably like in September. But if you guys want to follow my journey, you know where to find me. J.Towers on IG and Pumpn University on YouTube. So yeah. All right. This is JT. We're signing out. Later.